Hawkins from StaceyHawkins.com, and thanks so much for joining me for this great lean and green cooking class. So today I am actually going to make for you a fiery salmon with a really terrific cool side dish. So it'll be a great combination of a little on the spicy side with a little bit of cool as well. I'm going to turn the oven on here, the stove top on here, so that our pan can get hot, because you know, people are asking me all the time, what's the best way to make salmon? I always order it in the restaurant, but I never ever make it at home because it never comes out right. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make the perfect salmon in under 10 minutes. So today, as I said, we're going to do a great flavor combination, because as we know, staying on program means popping food with flavor, and that's what we're going to do here today. So I have this beautiful piece of salmon. It's a little over a pound because I'm cooking for 4 people, and I am going to season it with Phoenix Sunrise seasoning. Now this is a Tex-Mex style seasoning. It's not really hot and spicy, but it's really, really flavorful. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon, which, as you know, if you follow me, is 1 capful, and all I'm going to do is sprinkle it over top this salmon. Kind of put it on there generously, and then I'll just take my fingers and tap it on. You don't need any oil on this whatsoever, because the salmon is pretty much a fatty fish in and of itself. Now, as I said when I got started, I turned on my pan on the stovetop, and as you can see here, I've got a really nice non-stick pan, but there's no oil in here whatsoever. I'm heating it over high heat, but right now I'm going to turn it down to medium-high heat, and all I'm going to do is take our piece of salmon and I'm going to flip it seasoning side down in the pan. And that's it. So we're going to leave this for a good 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll see how well it's cooked and flip it over. Excuse me 1 second while I just rinse my hands off here to get the fishy smell off. Little towel. And while our salmon is cooking, and it looks terrific, like I said, I've got it on medium-high, so I don't have to worry about it burning or scorching. We'll throw that in the sink. And while that's cooking, I want to show you how to make a really delicious side dish to go with this. So today I'm going to show you how to make a bok choy and kale salad. So it's got a lot of texture, a lot of fiber, and a lot of flavor to it. And I've also cooked this, or going to cook this, I grew it in my garden myself. I just want to show you here really quickly, like, this is in a pot in my backyard, right? This is Russian kale. Look at how beautiful that is. And the really cool thing about this is you can just put it in a pot on your patio. I don't care if you are in an apartment, or like me, I live on about 5 acres of rocks. So there's nothing I can put in the ground. I can't even do raised beds because I've got so many deer around. But these pots are perfect for that. Now the bok choy I do have in flower boxes outside, and they're attached, so I can't bring them in to show you. But I can show you what bok choy looks like. And it is, almost looks like a little fans. It's really beautiful and it's really delicious. And the nice thing I love about this is it's got a celery-like stalk to it, but it's not quite as hard as celery, and then this beautiful leaf to it as well. So it makes a real nice texture and crunch and flavor in a salad, and it's also very mild and sweet. So that will juxtapose, if you will, which means go to the opposite of the kale, which tends to be a little bit more bitter and a little bit more on the hearty side. And the cool thing about this kale, and because I'm growing it myself and I'm getting it in the pot, is I can pull it off as these little baby leaves with these little thin stalks on them. So again, you can use the stalks or not. They are a little on the chewy side. They're really great if you want to saute them as well. So you can use the leaves and then put these to the side, or throw them in with your smoothies for a little extra fiber and flavor. Lots of different things you can do with them. But basically all I did was I took these, I'm gonna bring my bowl over here. I took these and I just tore them up. Real simple, real easily, after I washed them, of course, because they are and can be a little on the dirty side from growing outside. And the kale you want to take into nice small parts too. Now, if you don't have the luxury of growing this at home, of course you can get it from the grocery store. And there are hundreds of different kinds of kale. Now, I'm just going to take a quick peek at my fish here. I'll bring it over so you can see it. It is cooking away. Medium-high heat. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. We've been cooking for about 3.5 minutes now. And I'm just gonna get ready to flip this momentarily. We're gonna do about 7 minutes cooking time total because our piece of fish is just under about 3/4 inch thickness, and I want it on the medium rare side. And I definitely don't wanna overcook it. So I turn my heat down to a medium low. As soon as you kind of smell it and you smell the seasoning starting to cook, you definitely know that it's time to turn the heat down a little bit. And as I said, we'll flip it over as soon as we're ready, which I'm watching, and I'm going to say about another minute. So here I have my greens all ready to go. Now I told you I'm using the kale and the bok choy, but of course you can use any kind of greens. If you want to use a mesclun green, or you want to do baby spinach or arugula or whatever else you may have growing outside, by all means use it. Fresh, whole ingredients are what's going to make this taste terrific. And think about color and think about texture. And if you have room on your greens and you want to throw some additional vegetables in here, you can do that. So now we've got our greens ready. It's like, well, what are we going to put on top of this to make it taste great? I'm going to bring you there in 1 second, but for now, let's go back over here to our salmon, which is looking terrific, and we are going to flip this over. So I'm going to kind of do this backwards to make it easy. Since this is a big piece of salmon, I'm going to tip it towards me, bring it down, and boom, pop it over. Now look at that nice crust on there. Right, now that is the beauty of cooking the salmon seasoning side down first, not skin side down. Now the other trick is when you cook it seasoning side down and then flip it so it's skin side down, what's going to happen is that skin is going to sear, and you'll be able to pull the fish right off of it before you serve it. So you won't even have to worry that anybody's going to get the skin. All right, ready? Back to the salad. So we've got our greens all ready to go, but now what should you put on them? Well, I'm going to show you how, with not one, not two, but 3 little ingredients, you can make a cool, creamy ranch-style dressing that is so delicious. I promise you will never want it out of a bottle again. I can also promise you bottled salad dressings are the worst thing in the world that you can eat. When you read those labels, and if you need to know how to read a label, we shot a video last week that you can find that teaches you how to look at the nutrition and the ingredients and labels. And you hear that skin popping, I'm sure, right? Popping away. So refer to that if you want to know a little bit more of what I'm talking about. But when you read those labels on salad dressing bottles, there's so much gross stuff in there. Even some of the all-natural ones have carrageenans and thickeners and all this kind of garbage that you don't need. And to make a homemade salad dressing is so, so, so easy. In fact, I will do a whole class on that as well. That'll also be less than 10 minutes. So what are our 3 ingredients? Real simple and easy. I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons, and don't worry about writing this down because I'm going to post the recipe for you, of sour cream. And it's a light sour cream that I'm using. If you wanted to use yogurt instead, you can do that. It's an approved condiment, and this is going to make a lot of dressing. Now you're also wondering, what is she mixing that in? Shaker bottle with the wire whisk in it. I love these for making dressing because you can do it in 1, 2, 3. Next, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of unsweetened almond milk. Also approved condiment. Doesn't really have a lot of flavor to it, so you do not have to worry like, ew, putting those together. And of course, the piece de la resistance, ranch seasoning. So low salt, tons of flavor. Again, I'm going to use just a little bit under a tablespoon here, which is a capful. I'll throw that in. Close up the shaker top. Put it on. And feel like that. Wish I was making a margarita, but I'm just doing ranch dressing. And voila, you've got dressing all ready to go. When you're ready to serve, pour a little of this over your salad and mwah, it will be yummy, yummy, yummy. When you do this from the get-go, you probably want to let it sit for just like 15 minutes to let that ranch dressing and the ranch seasoning really meld the flavors in. And of course, you can keep this in the refrigerator. And this makes about 3/4 cup of dressing, and you only need a tablespoon. And believe it or not, I did the math. 1 tablespoon is 1/3 of a condiment. That's it. So real easy. All right, let's pour this over because we're going to get it ready to go here. Ooh, I want to show this to you. Nice, cool, creamy, crisp and creamy all together. I'll get my tongs here. We'll toss this up. Oh, that smells so good. And our salmon is cooked perfectly. Let me get a plate to put this on for you. It's the beauty of doing things in my own kitchen. I know where everything is. So the salmon, as I said, now I want you to look at this. When I go to pull this off, you see what happens? How the salmon skin sticks underneath? Perfect, perfect, perfect. And this is cooked absolutely perfectly. I'm gonna get that off the heat. I'll turn this off, and here you go. Look at, oh, this smells so delicious, and it is cooked perfectly. So we've got that nice crust on here, lots of flavor, lots of texture in our salad, and those two things are gonna go so well together. For this recipe, definitely check out StaceyHawkins.com. I'll also post it below, or a link below, so that you can grab it and make this tonight. What have we got? 4 ingredients, a couple of spices, less than 10 minutes, and a meal you will be so proud to serve. I'm Stacey Hawkins from StaceyHawkins.com. Of course, any questions, feel free to reach out at www.staceyhawkins.com or give us an email, stacy@staceyhawkins.com. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you will go home tonight and make the perfect salmon for your family. No longer afraid, no longer ordering it at a restaurant, now making it for you any night of the week. Have a good night, everybody.